Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, coming to you really one last time actually from the beautiful and sunny Florida Keys. I hope you're all having a lovely start to your Valentine's Day weekend, but I wanted you to be aware of something extraordinary that's happening right now as we speak. Something absolutely massive, something that honestly, if you're not paying attention, you'll be missing it. You'll be missing one of the single most remarkable political realignments we've seen in years. Now, many of you know Nicki Minaj, right? She's the biggest female rapper on the planet, over 100 million records sold. Well, she has declared herself officially President Trump's #1 fan. She got a lot of pushback coming out in support for President Trump. And I don't mean just, tacit support or anything like that. She literally put her money where she put her money where her mouth is. She put her money, her platform, her reputation on the line in support of Trump. Well, now as it turns out, her tens of millions of fans are following suit. They're being called the Barbs. They're the fans of Nicki Minaj who are switching their party registration Republican. Not a handful, not a little trickle. And we're talking viral post after viral post on X, hundreds of thousands of views each, people proudly declaring that they're done with the Democrat Party and they're now officially Republicans because of the issues that Nicki Minaj has brought to the fore. So one fan posted, "Today is the day I switch to Republican." That got over 300,000 views and likes. Another wrote, "Officially a Republican. I'll never vote for a Democrat ever again." That also got over 300,000 views. And with post after post, the same message. Young people, many of them first-time voters, saying, we're with Nicki Minaj. We see the truth now. And the conservative movement is stepping up to meet them. So Scott Pressler jumped on X and he said to any of Nicki Minaj's Barbs, right? If any of you need assistance registering to vote or changing your party voter registration status, I'll personally take time to help you. And Tyler Bauer from Turning Point Action suggested that Nicki should go on tour so they can register literally tens of thousands of new voters at her concert. And the impact is already happening. Good morning. She's a huge supporter of what's called the SAVE Act that would make voter ID a requirement for all federal elections. As Senate Republicans and Democrats sort of drag their feet over this issue, she's calling on her Barbs to call their senators and pressure them to support the SAVE Act. And it's working. Reports are that senators' phone lines are absolutely flooded with calls for them to support voter ID. And it's not just voter ID. When President Trump came out and called out Nigeria for the mass killings of Christians, we're talking an estimated, 100,000 killed since 2009. Nicki Minaj didn't stay silent. She publicly thanked the president and then stood alongside the UN ambassador, Mike Waltz, at the United Nations to address the crisis. And then when Trump rolled out his Trump accounts, these are the tax-advantaged investment accounts for children that provide $1,000 from the U.S. Treasury for every child born between 2025 and 2028. Minaj supported that effort by personally pledging $150,000 to $300,000 to fund accounts for her fans' newborn babies. Right, if you don't know, these are the new tax-advantaged investment accounts created by the One Big Beautiful Bill. So she's very much plugged in here, from election integrity to protecting persecuted Christians in Nigeria to child savings accounts. Nicki has been standing arm in arm with President Trump. And then there's her personal story. She is, in many respects, an embodiment of the American dream. She came to this country from Trinidad and Tobago, 5 years old, with nothing, literally. She built an empire through raw talent and relentless hard work, and now she's finalizing her United States citizenship, proudly holding up her Trump gold card, right? And unlike so many ungrateful U.S. Olympic athletes, she's saying thank you. Thank you to this nation. Thank you to our wonderful, gracious, as she would say, charming president. So is Nicki Minaj really making America great again? Well, we've got some stats, and these are going to absolutely blow you away. For decades, our dietary guidelines told Americans the same tired old story. Low fat, low salt, eat less. Meanwhile, our food supply quietly filled up with seed oils, chemical additives, emulsifiers, and ultra-processed junk engineered to hijack your biology. Well, RFK Jr. released new dietary guidelines, and for the first time, the federal government is finally admitting the truth. Ultra-processed food is the real driver of chronic disease. These new guidelines mark a sharp turn toward food quality. They pull America back toward real traditional foods while warning against the processed products because the damage that matters most actually starts in your gut. Your gut microbiome becomes imbalanced, inflammation takes hold, blood sugar control weakens, hormones drift off course, and the gut barrier slowly breaks down. For the first time, dietary guidelines are no longer ignoring the gut. They're explicitly recognizing kimchi as foundational to restoring the microbiome, supporting metabolic control, and strengthening immune function. Kimchi isn't just a fad, it's a centuries-old fermented food loaded with unique probiotic strains that strengthen the gut lining, regulate inflammation, and help the body detox from modern exposures. And RFK isn't just talking about this, he's living it.
Mainly meat and then fermented vegetable, anything fermented. So a lot of kimchi and all kinds of fermented vegetables. And it's really, I would say it's dramatically changed my everything.
He eats like someone who understands that your gut controls your entire system, from weight regulation to immunity to brain function. The problem is that most people don't eat kimchi every single day. That's why Brightcore created Kimchi One. Kimchi One delivers the powerful benefits of kimchi in a single, simple, daily capsule, helping restore what modern food destroys. It supports your gut barrier, helps flush toxins, calms inflammation, and even reduces risk of obesity. In a world built on fake food, give your gut real protection. Today, you can get an exclusive offer by clicking on the link below for 25% off your entire order, or for the best deal available, call my friends at Brightcore for up to 50% off plus free shipping. Call them now at 888-597-0233. I take this every day. I love it. I know you will too. Again, 888-597-0233. Minaj's political activism simply could not have come at a worse time for the Democrats, who are currently experiencing what the New York Times is calling a dire voter registration crisis. So between 2020 and 2024, Democrats lost approximately 2.1 million registered voters across 30 states that track voter registration by party affiliation. 2.1 million registered voters lost. All the while, Republicans gained 2.4 million. So that's a 4.5 million registered vote swing to the Republicans in a matter of 4 years. As of late 2025, Republicans had narrowed the long-standing Democrat voter registration advantage by over 1 million since the 2024 election, so paced significantly faster than during Trump's first term. In North Carolina, the decades-long Democrat registration lead of nearly 750,000 shrunk to just over 1,000 by December 2025. And as of just a few weeks back, North Carolina, for the first time in the state's history, became majority Republican in registration. And they've only increased their margins since. In the Keystone state of Pennsylvania, the Democrat registration lead that once exceeded 1.2 million during the Obama years has shrunk to barely 50,000. Pennsylvania will officially be a red state in mere months from now. The mass effect of further voter registration surges for the GOP based on someone like Nicki Minaj is literally the last thing the Democrats need right now. But more than that, Nicki Minaj represents the fact that the political right really is taking over the culture. You know, for decades, the political left held, how do you want to call it? It's just a almost unchallengeable monopoly on pop culture. So we're talking, Hollywood, music industry, legacy media. They all functioned as a synopticon of unified messaging apparatus for progressive ideology. That monopoly is now cracking, and Nicki Minaj may be its most dramatic fracture point. Now consider what her shift represents here, okay? She's not Kid Rock. She's not Ted Nugent. These are artists whose audiences are already conservative, right? This is a woman whose fan base is overwhelmingly young, multiracial, female. Many are from the LGBT community. These are the demographics that the left considered permanently theirs. And yet, when Minaj declared herself Trump's #1 fan, when she stood at the United Nations to defend persecuted Christians, when she championed voter ID laws and pledged hundreds of thousands of dollars to fund children's savings accounts for Trump's account summit, her fans stood by her. They didn't run. Many are now publicly following her journey into Republican politics. Viral post after viral post on X showing the barbs, as they're called, proudly switching their registration to Republican. Many of them first-time voters. This is exactly the kind of pop culture awakening, as it were, the right has been unable to achieve for a generation. And a Harvard study found that celebrity endorsements are incredibly powerful in driving civic engagement. Taylor Swift's 2018 Instagram post, that alone generated 250,000 new voter registrations in 72 hours for the Democrats. So Minaj commands a comparable cultural footprint, over 100 million records sold, massive social media outreach, but she's now pointing that influence toward conservative causes of faith, of family, of election integrity, and financial empowerment. The left understood long ago that politics is indeed downstream from culture. When the biggest female rapper on the planet walks away from the progressive consensus and brings a generation of young fans with her, it signals that the right isn't just winning elections anymore. It's competing for the culture itself. The barbs are indeed coming, and the Democrat Party should be terrified. Love you guys. God bless.